What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Nikki, and I'm back today, you guys. And today I wanted to tell the story of when I was 13 and my mom passed. What inspired me to tell this story at this moment was watching a documentary on Netflix called The Perfect Neighbor about a young lady that was killed, pretty much trying to protect her kids, and she was shot. And although my mom wasn't killed, she had heart problems from a child growing up. It still just touched me um, to, you know, to tell my story and to just feel the pain of when young kids are being told that their mom is no longer here. Like, we all um, have mothers and fathers. Some people have good relationships with their mother. Some people have good relationship with their fathers. Then some people may have bad relationship with their mama, and some people may have bad relationship with their father. But what losing my mom has taught me, because me and my dad was in my life growing up. I knew exactly who he was. He taught me how to ride a bicycle. There was some awesome times. But back in those days, I'm an 80s babies, parents was a little bit more strict. And so my dad was, kind of tough, but that's a part of being a parent now that I'm older, and I could attest to it because I am a parent also. But so I would say it is November, and my mom did die. I can't. Well, she died November 21st. Um, that year, Thanksgiving was that week. I was out of school um, for Thanksgiving. We was on our Thanksgiving break from school, and at the time I was living with my dad. My mom, she was going through some things financially, so we had to. Well, we really had a. I had a choice at the time, but my mom, she was getting her own place, but she didn't have her own place at that time. So I chose to live with my dad, and our childhood was kind of tough growing up. But I never really fought my mother for anything, or my father for anything that we did or did not have as kids growing up, because my mom was a very nurturing person, and the love that I received from her pretty much overweighed anything. And when she did have the money to do for us, to go above and beyond, she did. And I really, really, really appreciated that from her. At this at this day and age, I feel like somebody showing you how to love is way more important than somebody showing you. I mean, how to make money and stuff like that. That is good. You can learn. There are different ways of making money, but having love in your heart is something that a lot of people don't have, and I appreciate her for showing me how to love. But like I said, I was out of school this week. It was Thanksgiving week. We was out of school. And I was living with my dad, and it was me and my I would say little sister, stepsister at the time. We was at the house. Everybody else was gone, and I received a phone call from my cousin. She was hysterical on the phone. Nikki, your mom, she was like, your mom, something happened with your mom, something happened with your mom. And I'm like, what? Like, as a child, you're not even thinking like something like that is even possible. You know what I'm saying? Because you used to just waking up and that person being there. You don't really know death until it hits you personally, like for real. So she was calling me. She was hysterical. You need to, your mom got something happened with your mom. And I'm like, what, girl? And I'm like, whatever, like, girl, what you want? Like, and she was like, I'm for real, I'm for real, I'm for real. And then I'm just like, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not believing what she's saying to me. And she was like, okay, well just call your mom's job. Call your mom's job. I called my mom's job. My mom boss answered. No, my mom boss son answered the phone. And I was like, hey, Deuce. His name was Deuce at the time. And I was like, hey, can I speak to my mom? And so he was like, uh, what? He was like, who this is again? I was like, this Nikki. I said, can I speak to my mom? And he was like, well, I'm going to have your sister to call you. And I was like, at that point, it set into me that something was going on because I've never called my mom job and wasn't able to speak to her unless she was busy. It would be like she's busy or something like that. It's never been, I'm going to have somebody to call you. So now I hung up the phone with him. Now I'm walking up and down the street. I'm trying to figure out where to go because we at the house by ourselves. My dad ain't there. His girl ain't there. The one that he was dating at the time, she wasn't there. So it was just, I'm trying to figure out. I take my little sister. We just walking up and down the street. So then finally my dad comes up the street in the car, and I was like, Dad, like they just called me and said that something happened with my mom. And I'm crying, and he's like, what? And so we get in the car, we drive back to the house. And while in the house, we was standing outside, and my sister, my mom's boss, and her son, my mom's boss's son, pulls up in the car. And my sister walks up to the porch, and it was like, your mom's gone. And all I could do is just jump up and down. I'm crying. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm kind of getting kind of teary eyed because it's still. I think at this big age is like it's still touching me because I'm just going through a lot of my life that I wish I had my mom to call for advice, to talk to. Like, it's just a lot. Like, you go through different phases in your life, and I'm 37 years old, and I wish I had my mom to call. And whenever somebody did something to me, or just on a good day when life is that I'm feeling good, but I still don't have my mom to call, it's still an emptiness there. It's still that emptiness that's there. And it was just like I couldn't believe it because I'm out of school for Thanksgiving. Now I'm having to deal with losing my mom. And I think it was on a Tuesday that happened. And just so happened that November 21st is actually my mother's mother. That's her birthday. So my mom actually died on her mother's birthday. And it was also the week of Thanksgiving. And so, you know, with that being said, my mom was a awesome woman, an awesome nurturer. She showed love. She didn't have a lot of materialistic things to give, but she had all the love in the world, not just for me, but for anybody who came around her that was hurting or needed some advice or needed someone to talk to. My mom was that. I watched her go to a lot of cousins that was older than me, that was different, that was dealing with, boys and stuff like that. And I watched her give them advice on boys, on how to deal with it. I was still young, so I hadn't went through that yet. So I wasn't able to get the advice from her. But I watched her do that to a lot of people, and show a lot of love to a lot of people. And so it was just um I don't know. It's like I try to see what it is that God was telling me. Because as a child, I always my thing was I wanted to be successful. I didn't know what I wanted to be, but I just knew I wanted to be successful. I knew I wanted to get married. I knew I wanted to have kids. I wanted to live happily ever after, and I wanted to, do all these things, and I wanted to help my mom along the way. Well, all that changed when I lost my mom at 13. It changed. And I always thought to myself, what was the purpose? Like, why did God allow that to happen to me when I was 13? And one thing that I have noticed about me and about my life, like I've mentioned before, that's why I have a connection to kids who have lost their mom or who have their mom but just feel like they don't have they're not being heard, or they're not getting the attention that they need, or they're not getting the love that they need. I try to extend myself so that they will know that someone loves you. Regardless of how your mom is treating you, how your dad treating you, regardless of who is treating you any kind of way, you got somebody that loves you. I try to see the good in people, and I try not to hold bad things to people, because yes, we're not perfect. We all do things, and we all do things for certain reasons. It's like we don't just wake up and do it for no reason. Like sometimes there's a reason behind the things that we do, things that kids do, stealing and stuff. They may steal because they ain't got it. They ain't got it, like it's reasons. So I try to be that one that a child can go to if it's my last. When I tell you if it's my last, and I've been that way when I wasn't making nothing. When money was short. When I tell you, I've been that way to just give. To just give. With no, not expecting I'm giving this to somebody who I know ain't got no job, who I know can't give it back. But I never thought about it as, is you gonna give me my money back? No. I just try to help people when I feel like they're in need. And I just I just know that, and when my mom passed, I wanted that same in return. I wanted someone, well, I didn't really know what I wanted, but it was, of course, when things like that happen, you got people that's gonna come up to you. I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and a lot of people don't hold their end of the bargain, right? But you can't blame them. You can't. I don't blame them. I'm not mad at nobody for what they didn't do, even if they promised it to me. I'm not mad about it at all. But the only thing that I see and I know that God, my purpose, that God wants me to be that person that I wanted someone to be to me, that I wanted back in the days after I lost my mom, or even before, because we didn't have a lot growing up. So a lot of times I went without. So my life was never based on materialistic things. After I lost my mom, I was like, shoot, all the money in the world could never bring my mom back. I can be as happy as I want to be, but I'm still kind of empty inside because I don't have my mom. So I feel like I try to fill that void by being a voice to people who's out there that has lost their mom, like I said, or have an estranged relationship with their mom, whomever, it's whoever close to them, where they feel like they want that person, but they can't really have that person, how they want them because of things that happen in life. I really try to, you know, give them advice. I never talk down on somebody. Like, if you come to me and you telling me that you got a problem with your mom or a problem with your dad or something like that, I'm not gonna say, well, yeah, your mom ain't no good, your dad ain't no good. And I'm not that person. What I try to do is give a compromise in it. What I try to tell people is, young kids, never be disrespectful, no matter what, how you think somebody is treating you, how you feel about it. Never be disrespectful. Still respect them, because eventually things will change. You just sometimes have to give things time, and sometimes you have to pray about it. You have to take it to God, and God will show you and reveal to you how to really act in this situation, how to really treat your mom or whoever it is in this situation. You coming from somebody who lost their mom, and I would give anything to just have a conversation, but I can't. I can't have a conversation with my mom. She's gone. She's been gone. She died in 2001. It's 2025, 24 years on November 21st. It'll be 24 years that my mom has been gone. And I can't bring her back. I can't hear her voice. I can't. So my message today is, y'all, especially as the holidays. And my mom loved, oh my God, y'all, let me tell you something. I got my Christmas tree up. My Christmas tree been up for like a couple of days, maybe a week or so. I'm not sure. My sister came over. My mom loved the holidays. When I tell you, she loved the holidays. We used to have the sing. When I tell you, we didn't have much, but when we had, we had. And she would have the singing lights and all of that stuff. And my sister came over when I was putting up my tree the other day. And she was like, oh my God, girl, it is too early. Like you, it's just like your mama. You doing things like your mama. You already putting up your Christmas tree and stuff like that. And I'm like, yes, because there's no other time in the year to really just be grateful and just to smile for no reason. It don't have to be a reason. If you woke up, if God is still giving you a chance to make a difference every time you wake up, that's a reason to smile. That's a reason to be happy no matter what you're going through. No matter. And I promise y'all, my bank account is at a zero. But I'm still smiling. I'm still smiling. I don't have a job. I'm unemployed at this very moment. But I'm still smiling. I still got lights on. I got a tree that I was able to put up. I can go outside and I'm like, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, like Mr. Rogers. Like, just happy just to be alive. Because I'm not where I want to be. But I'm not where I was. And all of the hurt and pain that I went through as a child, growing up, losing her mom, having relationships, I had my baby early, all of those things, I feel like at this very moment, I could say that I am successful. Because I'm not strung out on the streets. I'm not just down and out. I'm not in jail. I'm not in the hospital. I'm not going through anything that I will allow somebody to take my joy from me. That's why I would rather be a loner. I'm a Leo. People say Leo loves attention, but guess what? Leos loves to be alone too. They don't have to have they don't have to be center of attention. They don't have to be aggressive. How stereotype what people put on Leos. No, because I'm a Leo, true Leo at heart. You know, growing up, sometimes I was, my sister, oh yeah, you always got attitude. Baby, that was just because I was growing up in that kind of environment that it caused me to be that way. But when I realized I don't want to be that way, I don't want to be that negative person. I would love to just love on people and call that a day. I want peace in my life. And that's what I choose to do. That's why I choose to be alone. Because if I'm around people who's going to cause drama in my life, I would rather back up because I'm not finna sit and argue with you about nothing because that's what you like to do. I don't like to argue. So I would rather be alone. And that's what I'm doing. That's the reason why I have no friends. My circle is not even our circle. Like I heard somebody say they ain't got a circle, it's a period. Period. Pooh. I promise you. Cause that's what I got. I don't have a circle. I have people who I talk to, family who I talk to, and that loves on me. I love on them back. And I still like to be alone. I don't have to be around people every day. I don't have to drink. I don't smoke. I don't all that stuff that I did back in the days, that was back in the days. Right now, I want peace in my life. And I do want to focus on my career and making money. But the main thing is peace in my life. If a job is calling me, it's causing me to be negative and all that other stuff, I don't want it. I leave it. Because I'm not finna sit and argue with people. I'm not finna try to defend myself against people who really don't like me in the beginning. Like, that's just things I'm not gonna do. So, regardless of how you may feel about me, I'm gonna let you have it. Because I'm not gonna, I may have an opinion of you, but I'm not gonna sit around and say it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not going to fuss back and forth with you. I peep you. I peep your game. I know how you is. But I'm just going to move on. I'm just going to move on. But I didn't try to make this video this long, but I eventually knew it was going to be this long because of course, I was telling the story of, the day that I lost my mom and how it came to me and stuff like that. But, my overall message is just y'all love one another. It's the holidays. Y'all see what's going on in the government with the stuff they teaching us, just so much hate and pain. But God, at the end of the day, want us to love each other. That's the ultimate goal. That's the God's way. Loving each other and being there for one another. These holidays, if y'all get a chance to love somebody, do something for somebody, do it with no strings attached. Love on them with no strings attached. If they cussing you out, just say I love you. God bless you. Don't let it affect you. Because that's their feelings. But you don't have to feel the same way about them. You can see right through them. Because 9 times out of 10, when people want to fuss and argue with you, they just hurting. They hurting by something in their life that they don't know how to deal with. So they want to lash out at you. But when you cover with the blood of Jesus and you know that God got you, you don't have to act like that. But you got to give people grace and give them a little time to get to where you at. So you don't have to argue back with them. Don't argue back with them. Don't argue back with them. Let them have it. So, like I said, y'all, I always say give it to God. Love on each other. It's the holiday season. Be grateful. Everything will always work out. So, you guys, that's my video. That's my message today. I hope you guys like, comment, or subscribe. Like, comment, or subscribe. Like, comment, or subscribe. I'm going to keep saying it till I get y'all to start commenting on my videos. I see y'all watching. Come on. Like, comment, or subscribe. Come on. Let's get there. Let's get there. Let's open this conversation. Let's open it. Let's open it. Because I wanna respond. When I see you come in, I wanna respond. I wanna respond. Let's have a conversation. So y'all enjoy y'all holidays and y'all have an awesome Thursday. Thank y'all. Have a good one.